What's up, everybody? It's the Kenner Collector again. Hope you're having an awesome weekend. In this episode, I'm finally going to showcase my 10 top vintage Kenner Star Wars figures behind me. I finally picked up this Grail piece over Christmas time, so I'm finally able to put this video together. I've been wanting to do this top 10 figure video for a long time, so let's go ahead and check out my favorite vintage Kenner Star Wars figures right now. So here's my 10th favorite vintage Kenner Star Wars action figure. This is EV-9D9, the Jabba's Dungeon or Torture Droid from the Power of the Force line. These came, on the card back with the coin, one of the last 17 figures. And, when I saw this in Return of the Jedi, especially with his famous line, when the figure came out, the coolest thing about this figure is his mouth moves up and down with that little lever on the back of his head, which is really cool. And that really sticks out in my mind, from when I was a kid. Obviously, these are super flimsy limbs on this guy. Definitely rotate any limb, by the shoulder, if it's his arm, if it's his leg, by the hip. Don't move them from the foot or the hand. It'll probably snap in half and you will not be very happy. So this is my 10th favorite. Let's check out number 9. And here we have number 9, the brown snake Yoda. And I'm sure when, we all saw Yoda for the first time in The Empire Strikes Back, when Luke lands on Dagobah, we're like, wow, what is this creature? What is this little elf guy? But, he was obviously super small. I think he is the smallest figure. Yeah, even smaller than the Ugnaught. And comes with a really cool belt, his cane, the brown snake. There's also an orange snake version of this guy. And then his kind of tan cloak or robe. But love this figure. Loved The Empire Strikes Back. Definitely my favorite of the original trilogy. So that's why Yoda comes in at number 9. And here's my 8th favorite figure, also from The Empire Strikes Back. Han Solo in his Bespin outfit. This was my favorite Han Solo sculpt, head sculpt, paint job. Definitely from the original vintage Kenner Star Wars line. I love the yellow stripe on the pants, his dark navy blue jacket. The head sculpt's really cool, and this is definitely my favorite Han Solo figure. And again, from The Empire Strikes Back, my favorite from the original trilogy. So that's why this figure comes in at number 8. Let's check out number 7 next. And number 7, Darth Vader from the first 12, the original Kenner Star Wars figures that we got. The mail-away figures, the first run, some of them came with the double telescoping lightsaber. These are extremely hard to find. If I could find one at a decent price, I would have one. Same with Obi-Wan Kenobi. But this is, you can't do a top 10, in my opinion, without Darth Vader. The Sith Lord, the Master himself, the really cool bright orange, reddish lightsaber, and the black vinyl cape. When we got these as a kid, this was everybody's favorite bad guy, right? So this is one of my favorite figures. Love this guy. Let's check out the next one here. And coming in at number 6 is the Luke Skywalker figure in Stormtrooper disguise with removable helmet. This was also a Power of the Force action figure that came on the card back with the coin, and part of the last 17 figures that we got from Kenner. And you can't beat this removable helmet. Luke Skywalker, and these definitely tend to yellow over time. If you can get your hands on a nice pearly white one, definitely display it behind some really good acrylic with proofing or any type of proofing glass to keep it from yellowing. Any type of air and sunlight you can keep off this guy, the better. But definitely one of my favorite, vintage kind of Star Wars figures. Let's check out number 5 next. Coming in at number 5 is this Sand People action figure, or more modern versions called the Tusken Raider. And love this guy, from the first time I saw him. And this one's really special. It's got the hollow cheek tubes. Once he spins back around here, you can see those. This was a rare variant from Kenner, and these can be pretty tough to find. If you can find one at a good price, definitely snag it. But just such a amazing character design. Definitely the head, from Lucasfilm, just the creativity in designing this type of character and then turning him into an action figure, was even better as we were kids. So that's why he comes in at number 5. Let's see who's number 4 next. And here we have the Imperial Gunner action figure from Kenner. This was also another figure that was part of the Power of the Force line that came on the card backs with the accompanying coin. And this figure is amazing. Part of the last 17 figures that we got as well from Kenner. Just look how badass this figure looks with the helmet, with the red visor there in the middle. And his blaster is really cool. If you collect this guy or have this guy, just make sure his blaster has the little L shape on the butt end of his blaster. And you can check this out online. Just Google it, because it's different from like the Endor Leia, for example, the A-Wing pilot. Those blasters are different. There's only one blaster that comes with the Imperial Gunner, and it has that L shape at the butt end of his gun, so it makes it super unique. Some people will try to sell these on, eBay or Etsy and pair it up with like an A-Wing blaster. So definitely check that out. Beware if you're collecting this figure. Let's see who came in at number 3. All right, so this is my third favorite vintage Kenner Star Wars action figure. This is Jedi Luke, and this one is the green lightsaber. There's also a blue lightsaber version. This is also the molded face versus the painted face, which makes it more rare, and also comes with a snap cloak. So all of these would have came together, if you're looking for a molded face Luke with the snap cloak with the green lightsaber. And seeing this figure, coming into Jabba's palace to threaten Jabba, when we were kids was amazing. In the Return of the Jedi, and to have this turned into an action figure with the big cloak, he's got an awesome blaster and lightsaber, which was sweet. And then, just having another Luke Skywalker come along, and the line was awesome to see. So let's go ahead and check out the next 2 and the last 2 figures here. And again, you can't do a top 10 without Boba Fett, in my opinion. So he comes in at number 2 on my top 10 vintage Kenner Star Wars action figures. I actually cheated on this one a little bit. This is the European version, or the tri-logo version, that comes in the lighter gray paint scheme. And I definitely prefer, taking videos of this guy and photographing the lighter gray. I think it looks cooler than the darker gray. But just an amazing figure. Just, look at the rocket, all the different, paint schemes. There's a lot of different colors on this guy, which is why it stood out when I was a kid. And just the mystery behind Boba Fett, all the bounty hunters when we were kids. I know these were, a lot of people's favorite figures to collect. So that's why he comes in at number 2, and the countdown begins to number 1. Here we go. And here's my top favorite vintage Kenner Star Wars figure of all time. This was a mail away figure, again, from the first 12 that we got from Kenner. Farm Boy Luke. And just got this figure, at Christmas time. I've been on the hunt for this one for a very long time. This is the extremely rare version of Luke that came in the mail away. I think there was a few that came on card backs. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But this is the double telescoping Luke Skywalker. with the original filament and lightsaber. And this one comes with the printed R on the hilt. I removed it once and don't think I'll ever remove the lightsaber again because of how fragile that filament is that moves in and out of the lightsaber. But again, if I could find the Darth Vader or Obi-Wan version of this, those are really, really rare. They made a lot more Luke Skywalkers. And then, there's just not a lot of Darth Vaders or Obi-Wans left out there. You can get them graded at insanely high prices, I think, but to find loose versions is extremely hard. So that's why Luke, Farm Boy, comes in at number 1. First Luke Skywalker we got, mail away figure with the double telescoping action. You can't beat it. Thanks for tuning in. And that's a wrap on this episode. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Throw a like on this. It really helps support the channel. Let me know if you disagree about my top 10. What's your top 10? Throw a comment down below. I really appreciate everybody. And until next time, collect the Kenner.